Hi and welcome to this free masterclass, Your Clearest Skin Ever. And today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be walking you through the 3-step blueprint to clear your acne without prescriptions or restrictions, with the purpose of helping you reach and achieve your clearest skin ever, because this is absolutely possible for you. And in this masterclass, I'm going to walk you through the framework so that you can understand what it means to actually address the root causes of your acne. Because identifying what the root causes of your acne are is amazing, but then what, right? We want to know actually what can we do about that so that we can reach the clearest skin ever. Exactly. So I want you to be able to achieve your clearest skin ever. And what I really want you to take away from this masterclass is really that belief that this is possible for you, right? You're not the only person in the world that this isn't going to work for. This is a proven method. And we really want to start stepping into the belief that yes, clear skin is possible for me. We might not be there yet. We might not fully know how, and that's absolutely fine. But just letting it land with you that I believe you can clear your skin. You deserve to clear your skin, and I want you to believe that too. So I want to really take you to the place of what it would mean for you to be on the other side of your acne. So I just want you to take in a deep breath and close your eyes if that feels good for you. So you sit down to do your makeup for work and you realize that you haven't had any new spots appear overnight. You feel your confidence expand as you get ready for the day in record time because your skin is getting clearer. And for the first time in months, you're smiling in the mirror because you feel genuinely happy about how you look. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that feeling to know that the small steps that you take in your everyday life would be different? Your experience would be different, right? Getting ready for work in record time, saving 30 minutes in your morning routine. How amazing would that feel? And I know that you want that, and I know that that's possible. And this is exactly how I remember feeling when I realized that my skin was healing. But it didn't start that way. My acne journey started when I was 11, but to be honest, my adult acne journey started in 2017 when I was 21. And this is the part of the journey that I want to walk you through today. Because honestly, my acne took me to a really, really bad place. It was the feelings of frustration that nothing was working. I was trying different foods. I was removing different foods. I was drinking green juices every single day. I was trying to do meditation. But for me, it wasn't just acne. I had a bunch of other symptoms as well. And I know it's the same for you, right? I was fatigued. I was having really bad period pains. My anxiety was really, really bad. I would find myself calling in sick for work because I was so anxious. So it wasn't necessarily just a case of having acne, though my acne was the symptom that drove me to actually address my root causes. I realized after I was on this healing journey that these other symptoms were actually really impacting my life. And my skin was getting worse and worse every single day. No matter what I tried, it really felt like it wouldn't get better. I tried so many different skincare products. In fact, I switched all of my skincare over to be completely natural. But at the time, I had no idea that I was basically rubbing coconut oil and shea butter and all these pore clogging ingredients all over my face and actually making my acne worse. I was buying probiotic powders. This was years ago. So I was listening to a wellness podcast. I was very ahead of all of these trends, and still my skin was getting worse and worse. And this is how it started. So what we can see is it started on my chin. I would start getting the odd spot here and there, and then it moved up to my cheeks, and then my entire forehead was congested. The reason I have these pictures is because I actually took these to take to show a dermatologist, but this wasn't the worst of it. And at the time I was a student and I was spending my student loan on all of the natural skincare, the clear skin supplements, the probiotics, making green juices. And obviously when you're a student, this is the time where everyone is socializing, you're going out. But for me, I was isolating myself. I was feeling lonely and I was spending all of my money on these solutions to try and clear my skin because I felt like it was giving me this sense of social anxiety. I would go out, I would feel like I was always comparing myself to different people. I didn't really want to wear makeup. And on my days when I wasn't in uni, I found myself, I was just wearing a cap. I was trying to hide as much as possible because I didn't want to be seen because of my skin. And at the time I was vegan, I was cooking from scratch. I wasn't even drinking alcohol. I haven't drank alcohol in years. And I was sleeping at 8:30. I wasn't able to live this student lifestyle. I felt like I was missing out. So many missed opportunities, missed friendships, missed networking opportunities because of my skin. And the thing is, I thought I was healthy, right? I was doing all of those things, all of the advice. I was vegan and I was spent so much of my free time just watching these videos from these nutritionists telling me all of these things that I needed to do, but it just wasn't working. And I kept telling myself, how can I really be healthy when my skin looks like this? I felt like I was completely out of alignment with the lifestyle that I was living. Feel good. And the more that I did, the worse my skin was getting. And this cycle went on for more than 2 years. And like I said, my anxiety was crippling. I was avoiding cameras. There's an entire year in my life where I don't have a single picture of myself at all. And then even when I was in pictures, I was not feeling very good about myself. And even now, I can still feel that uncomfortable feeling from looking at the pictures of how I felt at that time. I just was feeling so honestly insecure about how I looked, and it started to reflect in how I showed up, in the clothes that I wore. And I really started to avoid seeing family and friends and isolating myself because I was so nervous of how they would respond, of the advice that they would give me, and I didn't want to have to keep explaining myself over and over again. And in 2018, I ended up graduating with acne. And this was really a pivotal moment for me because I remember waking up on this day, and this was a day that I had waited for 3 years. And even before that, I put so much value in my education, and I couldn't wait to have pictures of me at my graduation. But I was waking up on this day and I was feeling like, how am I going to hide my skin? How am I going to feel comfortable in all of these pictures with my family, with my friends? How am I going to look back at these pictures and feel proud of this achievement? I was really overthinking and just beating myself up on this day. And to be honest, I am so glad that I do have these pictures, the pictures with my family, so that I can look back on this moment. But even still, when I look at these pictures now, I know exactly how I felt, right? This was a time where I was avoiding going outside. I was avoiding wearing makeup. So when I actually got ready for this day, I had no idea how to do my makeup. I was trying so hard to ignore my skin, but it was consistently on my mind. I felt like I was so desperate for a solution that didn't include a prescription. I wanted an alternative, but after another year of struggle and my skin getting worse, and this is actually how my skin ended up. This is a year after those pictures of my graduation. My skin just continued to get worse and worse. So it went from being just on my chin, my cheeks, my forehead, to being all up the side of my cheek, down my jaw, even onto my back. I just couldn't see another option. And can you relate? Have you ever felt like that when you're so desperate for a solution, but you're frustrated that nothing seems to be working because you will literally do anything and you feel like you're doing everything, but it just doesn't seem to be working? So this is what happened to me, and I ended up going on Accutane for the second time in 2019, but my acne came right back, and this is so common. This is what I hear so much from all of my clients. So many of my clients, they've been down this route. They've been on Accutane, they've been on the antibiotics, the birth control pills. The problem with this is it's not addressing the root causes of your acne. It's just another band-aid approach. And I say this with no judgment because obviously I've done this. I've been on Accutane twice. But for me, my acne came right back and it was itchier and redder and more irritated than before. And the restrictive cycle continued because at this point, after I came off Accutane, I was then reacting to even more and more foods. So I started to then cut out foods that I was eating already. So like I said, I was vegan. I was still having gluten, obviously vegetables, obviously different sources of like vegan proteins, but I felt like I had to remove these foods because I was reacting to so many different things. But finally in 2020, I found my solution, and honestly, nobody was talking about this. I finally discovered and addressed the deeper root causes of my acne and cleared my skin for good. And honestly, at the time, I didn't even realize that this was an option. And then I came across it and it literally changed my life. And this is how it ended. So 8 months after addressing my root causes and transforming my mindset, my skin looked literally like this. So I say 8 months because when I look at these pictures, you can obviously see that my scars, my pigmentation have obviously faded. So this is 8 months, including addressing my root causes, clearing the acne, and allowing those pigmentation and the scarring to actually fade. But the mistake I see so many people making when it comes to the root cause approach is just assuming that the root cause is just physical, right? It's just going to be your gut. It's just going to be your liver, maybe even your hormones, but it's so much more than that. It's not just the physical body, it's also your mindset. It's the limiting decisions that you choose that are keeping you stuck in this cycle of having acne, trying so hard to clear it, but then nothing seems to be working. And actually telling yourself nothing is working to clear my skin is a limiting decision in itself. So I just want you to let that drop, because we have to be so aware of the words that we're saying and the actual internal narrative, which means the essentially the voice and the thoughts that we're telling ourselves inside our mind every single day, because this is giving us those limiting decisions that are keeping us stuck in this cycle. And it literally blew my mind to learn that how I felt about my skin internally was showing up on my skin. So my skin started out on my chin and then on my cheeks. And of course, at that time, I was speaking horribly to myself. I was then attracting situations which made me feel worse about myself. I was avoiding taking selfies. I was avoiding being on camera. I became isolated. So of course, those thoughts then made me feel even worse about myself internally. So my skin continued to get worse and worse and worse. And this wasn't a coincidence. What I needed to do is I needed to shift my limiting belief that I wasn't worthy of having clear skin, because I'd started to identify as somebody who had acne. So before I could clear my skin and actually keep it clear, I needed to remove this limiting belief and address it continuously every single day, reminding myself that I am worthy of clear skin. Because that is what's allowed me to clear my skin, identify as someone with clear skin, with glowing skin, and be able to actually keep it clear. And it had taken me 3 years to get to that point of finding out about the root cause approach and actually realizing that I had these limiting beliefs. But once I realized this, everything changed, and the results were literally incredible for me. And I remember visiting my family wearing only skincare and lip balm for the first time in years without even thinking about applying makeup. And I heard compliments on my skin, on how healthy I looked and how confident that I had become. I honestly remember thinking to myself, like, wow, I'm so proud of myself, because I obviously haven't seen these people in a few months and they can see visibly how much of a shift I had made. And then eventually they just completely forget that you used to be the person that had acne, who was really shy, because you've now transformed into this other person. And other people then want to know how you have done that, how you've become more confident, how you have started to look so healthy, so glowing, and become this magnetic version of yourself. It's incredible. And this is when I finally got my confidence back, but it wasn't just because I had clear skin. And this is something that I really want you to know, because you can have clear skin and then what? Because I've had times previously in my teenage years, I had acne, I went on Accutane and my skin cleared, and I was still a shy person. I was nervous. I didn't want to, make new friends. I didn't want to do all of these things. So having acne then amplified those emotions. But having clear skin isn't the only thing that's going to give you confidence. Yes, it's going to make you feel better, but if you don't address your limiting beliefs and your opinion of yourself, then you'll just find something else to point out about yourself that's not good enough, right? We just become not confident about something else. So for me, it wasn't just about clearing my skin. It was because I started to feel more aligned. I went after a new passion. I completely changed my career path, which some people might say is crazy. I studied for 3 years and I studied fashion buying, merchandising, and then I moved to London and I worked in buying for a year. And some people might say, like, that's a dream job. That was my dream. And then after a year, I quit. I went back to study. I studied nutrition and I completely changed my life. So I was then feeling incredibly aligned. I left a relationship that was toxic and didn't serve me. And I actually started to fall in love with myself and build a relationship with myself. But right now, I know what you're thinking. I'll have a better mindset when my skin is clear. I hear this all the time. I can't love myself because I have acne. It's my acne that's impacting my confidence. I'll love myself when I have clear skin. So I think, to be honest, if these are the driving thoughts that allow you to get the help to clear your skin, then it's not the worst thing in the world if this is how you feel right now. But whilst we go on this process of actually addressing root causes and clearing your skin, these are the limiting thoughts and the limiting decisions that we will be shifting. Because if you're thinking right now, like, mindset, it's a bunch of fluff. Like, I don't want to change my mindset. I just want to clear my skin. I want to address the root cause of my acne. I don't want to change my mindset. I just want to clear my skin. Those are your limiting decisions, right? feeling like I will be confident when I have clear skin, that's absolutely fine because that's driving you to clear your skin. But I need you to remember the decision that you can shift at any point. And to be honest, you may have joined this masterclass because you want to get clear skin, and I get that. And I believe that this isn't about just learning to feel confident with acne. I believe that if you want clear skin, you deserve clear skin. I have a method that will get you clear skin, and this is the framework I'm going to explain to you in this masterclass. But I want you to know that this isn't just about getting clear skin. I want to help you achieve so much more than that. Okay, so let's dive in. And I want to start by talking to you about my client here, because when she first came to work with me, she was feeling overwhelmed, frustrated. She was eating whole foods. She was going to the gym. She was evil. She was having this bumpy, inflamed texture on her skin and this redness throughout the day. But when we worked together, what she told me was she's gone from having this bumpy skin and feeling stuck and frustrated with how her skin looked to actually feeling at peace with her life. She's got fresh, glowing, clear skin, which is incredible. But she said that she's now feeling at peace with her life regardless of how her skin looks. And that is the transformation that I want you to get to. Because yes, you can clear your skin and feel great because you've cleared your skin. But if you have a spot randomly one day before your period, or because you've eaten too much chocolate, then you will spiral. I want you to feel confident regardless of how your skin looks. That is the transformation. And this is another one of my clients, and she went from having hormonal cheek breakouts that she used to hide behind. And I remember she told me that she realized her skin was healing when she was absolutely confident and comfortable to have her hair behind her ears. Right? So she had gone from these hormonal cheek breakouts to clear, glowing skin and just feeling so much more confident in herself. And I want you to know that the old way of clearing acne is broken. And this is typically the old way, right? So we start by getting these breakouts. Maybe they're mild. And the first thing that we do is we go to skincare, because in the beginning, we think that our skin is just the surface level. It's not. It's our mind, our body, and our skin is a certain percentage. The actual topical side of clearing our skin is only going to be about 10% in the beginning stages. But what we do is we just think that it's our skin. So we go to skincare marketed for acne. When we realize that's not enough, we visit the doctor and we get put on topicals such as tretinoin, differin gel, benzoyl peroxide, and then that feels too harsh, so we get prescribed medication, and maybe we start with the pill or antibiotics and then eventually graduate into Accutane. And at that time, you're maybe realizing that something doesn't feel right. So you decide to cut out dairy, gluten, sugar, even invest in facials and doing all of the things that you have researched to try and clear your skin. And then if your research continues, and if at this point you then don't get expert support, then we can start to try and self-prescribe supplements to ourselves. And this is when things get really, really sticky, because what can end up happening is we start doing more damage because we haven't had the expert support. Cutting out dairy and gluten is fine because you're just removing a couple of foods. But when we start to dabble in skin supplements with probiotics we don't know that we need, in heavy detox cleanses, in berberine, or whatever TikTok is suggesting, this is where things get dangerous, because you start to address root causes that you think you might have, but you might not have them at all. And if you're not doing it at the right time when your body needs it, we can cause a lot more damage. For example, so many people take a supplement called DIM, and then when we look at their hormones, their estrogen is so low because the supplement has just suppressed that hormone when they didn't need to do anything with that hormone in the first place, so specifically estrogen, right? So we really need to be clear on what is my acne trying to tell me, and how can I start to listen before we end up going down this cycle of the harsh medication and spending so much money on facials and on supplements that aren't the right fit for us. So what this masterclass is going to do is it's going to explore the ultimate alternative and the solution that you've been looking for. And honestly, this is the exact product that I wish existed when I had acne. And this training is for you if you want to learn how to clear your acne and you're in this for the long-term solution. You're not here for a quick fix. Your goal for this year is to clear your acne for good, and you are fully committed. You're ready to feel like the healthy lifestyle aligns with your glowing skin, but you know it's about a lot more than just clearing your acne. So if you relate to any of these three things, then you are absolutely in the perfect place. And the truth is, this masterclass is not like other calls out there where I'm just going to give you basic acne tips that you could just Google And honestly, I'm not your average nutritionist. I'm not just going to tell you that the only way to clear your acne is to cut out multiple foods and feel restricted. And I know we can argue that restriction and feeling restricted is completely subjective. But I do know that from working with clients that there is a way that you can clear your skin without feeling like the only way is to remove multiple different foods, because that's just kind of, honestly, a little bit lazy when there's so much more that goes into this. So let me go through that. So I want to introduce myself. So I'm Melissa. I'm a naturopathic nutritionist, a naturopath, and a mindset coach. And everything that I do is focused specifically around acne. And I've worked with over 50 women to help them regain confidence in their skin. And when I tell you I only work with clients who have acne, then that should just tell you that I am obviously an expert in this. This is what I do. This is my experience, personal experience, and experience with other people. And I have 10 plus years of personal experience with acne, teenage years and adult years. So here is exactly how to not clear your acne. So we are not going to follow acne hacks and social media trends, and there are so many. So if we can just quiet that noise, turn it down, and follow those accounts, that'd be amazing. We're not going to rely on medication and harsh topicals. So if you're already in the cycle of doing this, this is something that I really want you to start to reframe in your mind, because this is not a long-term solution for clear skin. And we're not going to be super restrictive with your diet. I'm not restricted with my diet anymore. And when I actually addressed the root causes of my acne, I didn't have to be, right? So I want that for you as well. And we're not going to self-prescribe supplements randomly. Okay, so right now, I want you to commit to yourself that you are not going to be self-prescribing supplements randomly. You now know that there is a better way. You now know the damage that can happen if you do that. So that is exactly what we're going to stop doing. Okay, so here is how I teach you to clear your acne. We first start by pinpointing the root causes of your acne, because that clarity is what all of my clients tell me that they want, right? You want to know what's happening in your body. And a lot of the times you will have an intuitive nudge about what that is. We just need the confirmation, and that's absolutely fine. I'm going to give that to you. And then we need to shift your mindset, your internal narrative, the thoughts that you're thinking on a daily basis. And we need to uncover and support shifting your limiting beliefs and your limiting decisions. This is key. And then we go into addressing your physical root causes, but this has to be in the right order, because to be honest, it's absolutely fine and great to know our root causes of acne. But if we don't know how to address them, and we don't know what's actually driving the root causes in the first place with your lifestyle, your nutrition, your environment, your decisions, your thoughts, right? Then knowing the root cause is great. What are we going to do about it? And then after that, we support and we repair your skin externally. So here's the structure of the training. I'm going to walk you through my mind, body, skin approach for clearing acne and break down the top 9 root causes holding you back from glowing skin confidence. And then I'm going to show you my 4-step method for reaching the best skin of your life. And then if and only if you love this training, I'm going to share with you my brand new offer that will make clearing your acne easier, more enjoyable, and much quicker. Shall we get started? Okay, so what does it really take to clear acne? This is my mind, body, skin approach. And this approach weaves together naturopathic principles and science with both the human body as well as neuroscience to address acne in a truly holistic way. This is that combination between naturopathic root cause healing and the subconscious confidence expansion. So with the mind, body, skin approach, we are taking essentially like a 3-tiered approach here. So we have the mind. This means that we're using neuroscience and the connection with the subconscious mind to identify and shift limiting decisions and limiting beliefs. So our subconscious mind is running 95% of the show. Our conscious mind and the thoughts that we're thinking on a daily basis are mostly driven by our subconscious mind and our subconscious beliefs. So the decisions that we're making is only 5% of our conscious mind. So you can see here that there's so much of our mind that we are actually not in control of. And we're going to be thinking over 60,000 thoughts every single day, and 95% of those are repeated. So we need to really break that cycle and change our internal narrative so that we can start shifting the way that we are actually thinking on a daily basis and how we are feeling about ourselves. There's so many different techniques that we can use to actually uncover your limiting decisions and beliefs and then start to shift them. And then we have body. So this is probably the reason that you're here. because you want to address the deeper imbalances and root causes to create that internal environment which allows your body to heal itself. And therefore, you get to achieve this clear skin where you're free from acne for good. So the physical component of addressing your body, right? So this is going to be with your gut health, with your detoxification pathways, your metabolism, your nutrition, your hormones, all of these physical things that go into our acne and why the acne is there in the first place. And of course, we have the skin as well, because even though our skin is not just, surface level, we can't ignore the fact that our skin on an external level is still an organ, right? So we need to understand that the skin is an organ, and supporting this from the outside as well as the inside. This is how you achieve that ultimate glowy glass skin. Your skin is that first line of immune defense. And if your skin barrier is damaged, then there is a pathway for bacteria to get through the skin into your body. And a lot of the time, when that bacteria is, sitting on that damaged skin barrier, this is where breakouts can appear. So supporting a skin barrier and not congesting it with pore clogging ingredients, this is going to be really, really important to take your skin to the next level. So how I really break this down is we've got the skin, which is around 10% in the beginning, and the body and the mind are equally around 45%. So when we think of a pie chart, that is the approach and the kind of the percentage breakdown that I would want to give you for this. And when I think of the mind, body, skin approach, I always think of this in relation to a tree. And we start with the roots of the tree, and this is going to be the root causes. You have the underlying physiological imbalances that set the stage for your acne, and these need to be identified and addressed to clear your skin for good. So this is more of those, the physical imbalances, the gut health imbalances, the poor drainage, the detoxification, the hormones, right? The actual root causes physically of your body. And then we have the trunk. This is how your body is responding. So this is how your body processes the root cause. And if the roots are weak or damaged, the trunk, which is your body systems, let's say, struggles to function properly. And this is how it can lead to different symptoms such as acne. For example, a root cause could be gut imbalances. This is so common. And this can be broken down into various different categories. But let's say your digestion is weak. That now means that your body is unable to break down food and absorb nutrients that you have consumed. So that then is going to lead to your body not being able to get those nutrients that it needs from the food because your digestion is weak. So the root cause could be weak digestion from gut imbalances, but the body's response is now inability to absorb those nutrients. So the other body systems are then going to be impacted by the fact that they aren't getting the vitamins, the minerals, and the micronutrients, and even macronutrients like protein, right, that it needs to be able to function properly. So then we have the branches, and this is going to be the symptoms. So in that example I just gave, we have the root cause, which is gut imbalances with weak digestion. The body systems are then not able to get the vitamins and the minerals and the nutrients that they need to perform properly. And then we get symptoms. So we might get symptoms of fatigue, and acne is going to be a really visible symptom in an example like that, right? Such as breakouts, redness, cystic acne, oily skin. And many treatments are just going to focus only on trimming these branches and addressing the symptoms, suppressing the symptoms, instead of actually going to the roots and addressing it there. So in the example that I gave, we would then work on the reasons why your gut is imbalanced and your digestion is weak, support your digestion to be able to absorb those nutrients, and then that in turn would improve your skin. So addressing the root cause in this example is going to be really, really powerful, and it is powerful for regardless of whatever the root cause of your acne is. We need to be addressing the root and not just applying another cream, cutting out another food and hoping for the best. And then we actually have the seed. So this is what represents the subconscious patterns and the stresses that can contribute towards imbalances in the body. So for example, I like to think of the seeds as limiting beliefs. So if you have a limiting belief that you're not worthy or that you're not going to be loved, that can then lead to anxiety. And a lot of people will then process that anxiety from the nervous system in their gut. That can be a reason why you have a root cause of gut imbalances and weak digestion, because you have stress from this belief that you're not worthy, which then leads into the symptoms, how your body responds and the symptoms that then show. So my question for you is, what is going to come first? So if we think of that tree analogy, the roots don't just come out of nowhere, do they? What happens first? We have to plant that seed. And when it comes to limiting beliefs, those could have been planted even before the age of 7. So something could have happened in your childhood where you then started to believe that you're not worthy of something, which is then bringing stress in various different areas of your life. And that later on is going to show up one way or another. And if you're watching this, that is something that you want to think about, because that is how your acne is showing on your skin. And Louise Hay talks about acne as a dislike of the self. So that's something that I really want you to just sit there and think about, because this is so much more than just gut health. And I'm gonna show you the physical. We're going to address the physical root causes, but we have to come back to the limiting decisions and the seed that's been planted to know how we can actually start to move forward. So your limiting beliefs are going to impact your mind. This can be shifted. Have you ever wondered, what is it that's stopping you from clearing your acne? Or why you're still breaking out after trying everything that you have been told to do? Maybe you've worked with another practitioner in the past. Maybe you've bought another acne program and you've tried to do all the things with your nutrition. Maybe you've even addressed some of your lifestyle, but it just doesn't necessarily seem to be working. The truth is, acne doesn't just happen, and there is always a deeper reason for it. And something I like to say is, if you have acne, you haven't tried everything, because if you tried everything, your skin would be clear. So I really want that to just sit with you and land, because that is going to be a really, really important way for you to shift that limiting decision that you've tried everything, because I can tell you right now, no, you haven't. So I'm actually going to show you the top 9 root causes for acne that I have identified from my own acne journey and from working with 50 plus different women to help them understand and address the root causes of the acne. When I tell you, I have looked at multiple test results, from mineral testing, hormone testing, gut testing, blood testing, and I can tell you these are the top 9 root causes I have identified with clients who have acne. The first one is your adrenals, poor stress resilience, and your nervous system. This is that stress umbrella. And when we think of stress, it's never just stress. It can come in any of these categories. So that is going to be number 1 we want to understand. Is your stress driving your breakouts? Is your nervous system dysregulated? How are you responding to stress? Do you have strong stress resilience? And are your adrenals fatigued and you're kind of in that depleted state? Because if you are going to struggle to kind of move further in any of the other root causes, because you will have multiple. Let's say your top one is stress, your adrenals, you've got poor stress resilience, your nervous system is dysregulated, but you're also bloated, and we know you've got gut imbalances. What do you think we're going to address first? Not the gut. This is why the order in how we do things is so important, because if you are in a fight, flight, freeze response, healing in the body isn't going to happen until we move you into your rest, your digest, your parasympathetic nervous system, that state where your body can actually start to heal itself. If you just start by addressing your gut health, taking probiotics, kind of going through a gut protocol, your symptoms are just going to circle because you haven't actually addressed the driver, which may be stress. So I want that to land with you. Next, we have blood sugar imbalances. This is really common in acne, but we can address this very easily through lifestyle and sometimes through minerals as well. We have poor detox and drainage. So the drainage pathways are essentially the sewage system in the body. It's the flow of toxins that then are eliminated through the body. So drainage is not just lymphatic drainage, it's your entire drainage system. So it starts by bowel elimination, so your digestion, how your body is actually eliminating waste. And then it kind of goes back. So we think about like cells, lymphatic flow, kidneys. There's quite a few things that go into the drainage funnel, but essentially it's the flow of toxins through the body. And then detoxification is how your body then processes those toxins. That is your liver, that is your gallbladder. So if any of this pathway of elimination is backed up somewhere, then we need to really work on that. We also have gut health imbalances, which could be weak digestion, it can be bacterial overgrowths or something else. We have overall inflammation, because as we know, acne is an inflammatory condition. Even if in the skin you have closed comedones, the sort of like the white skin colored bump or blackheads, and what's referred to as non-inflammatory acne, research now shows that even non-inflamed acne has a level of inflammation. So just wanting to know that most people will have some level of inflammation. And next we have hormonal imbalances. So hormonal imbalances here, I'm referring to reproductive hormones. So for example, a common example in the literature is high testosterone is a driver for acne. So high testosterone may be the root cause of your acne as the hormonal imbalance, but there is going to be an underlying root cause as to why the testosterone is high. But the underlying root cause of that high testosterone might not be the root cause of your acne, but it's still really, really important for us to actually address that as well. But hormonal imbalances can also be with thyroid hormones, it can be with stress hormones, it can be with blood sugar hormones like insulin. So there's more that goes into this than just reproductive hormones, but absolutely hormonal imbalances can be the reason why you are breaking out, and I see this so often. Next, we have nutrient imbalances and insufficiencies, and this also includes your minerals, because minerals and making sure your minerals in balance are going to underpin so many of the other root causes as well. Then we have topical and irritation acne. So I usually see this in teenagers or people who've been overusing prescription active ingredients, and we've got that skin barrier damage, but also so many people are using pore clogging ingredients, in which case we're just adding fuel to the fire and making acne worse because the skin is getting more and more congested. So that is a reason that actually your skincare could be a root cause of your breakouts. It's not the most common one I see, but it's still something that we need to address early on, because if we don't change the way that you're supporting your skin externally, we can work on all of these other root causes, and your internal health then might be in an absolutely perfect state, but we don't know what's working because your skincare is actually the bottleneck in this scenario. It's causing the acne to continue to kind of resurface. So for me, when I had breakouts on my forehead, that was literally driven by the fact that I was using skincare with coconut oil, shea butter, and other natural ingredients that were clogging my pores. So now I know that if I ever break out on my forehead, it is always skincare related, because I just don't break out. That's not an area where I would break out. So if you haven't removed your pore clogging ingredients and you're still, your skin's getting red and blotchy and itchy, irritated and flaky when you do your skincare routine, I would really encourage you this is an area that you want to work on, so that we know exactly what else is happening in the body and how your body is then shifting and your skin is responding when you address those other root causes. And I've actually included limiting beliefs and decisions in this because, as we spoke about before, that is going to be the seed that underpins all of this. So we really need to make sure that that is something that we are looking into and addressing. So I know what you're thinking. This feels like a lot, and how am I supposed to know my root cause? Or even I feel like all of these are my root cause. I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. You are going to have multiple root causes for your acne, but addressing them, it really gets to be simple, because when you use my method for clearing acne, my CSC method, you're going to identify what the exact root causes of your acne are, and you're going to be able to be guided step by step through a process of addressing all root causes of acne in the order that they need to be addressed. Specifically, the ones that relate to you, you're going to then dive into those in a lot more detail. And to be honest, this method is absolutely intentional. So these steps have to be followed in the order that they have been created, because I've intentionally created it that way, and it's been tried, tested, and proven. So I'm going to walk you through now the 4-phase CSE method that I use with my clients to clear their acne. And phase 1 is going to be realizing your root causes. We're always going to start by actually identifying what the root causes of your acne are. And I know that this is a question that you've been asking yourself and trying to figure out. So what I've done is I've actually created this blueprint, this root cause realization blueprint, which will allow you to self-identify what the root cause of your acne actually is, whether it is gut imbalances, and if so, what in your gut is the problem here. So this is something that we really want to dive into early on, so that you get that, because when you know what is driving your acne and when you know what symptoms are relating to kind of the different body systems in the body, then you're going to be really aware of how your body is healing as you start to put action in to address the root causes. So once we have that clarity, we then move into phase 2. So what I want you to understand here is that realizing your root causes is only step 1 in this 4-phase method. That's actually 12 steps. Because it's all well and good knowing your root causes, but you also need to know the drivers of that root cause. So in the root cause realization blueprint, you will also be going through your lifestyle, your nutrition, and your environment checklist, so that you don't just know your root causes, you know your drivers. And then all of these other steps are going to help you address that root cause. So we're going to start by reestablishing foundations. Starting with your skincare and your products, because like I said before, if you don't change your skincare, repair your skin barrier, remove pore clogging ingredients, optimize exfoliation early on, then you won't know if everything else you're doing is improving your skin, because your skincare is the one thing holding you back. Skincare is going to be adding fuel to the fire, so we need to address that first. Next, we have Nourish, which is your nutrition and your nutrition foundations. One thing I see with so many people is they're actually under eating, not eating the foods that they need to do, feeling like they've already gotten the nutrition into a really great place, but actually their blood sugar isn't balanced. They're eating the same foods every single day, and under eating is a really big thing that I see with my clients. So actually making sure that we're eating enough, we're eating the foods that we need to do, our blood sugar is balanced, and bringing in that balanced approach really early on. So I have a method that I take my clients through here, which is referred to as my 4R 80-20 method. We recognize which foods we need to replenish, which foods we can replace, which foods we can reduce, and if there is anything that we actually do need to remove because we have an allergy or intolerance or something that we need to remove because it's contributing negatively to our other systems and our other health. So what you can see with that is we're not just removing a bunch of foods, right? We are replenishing our body first, replacing when needed. And then next we have Regulate to Glow, which is all about the nervous system. So really working on that rest, regulating your nervous system, and building your resilience towards stress, because there's so much stress in our lives that we can actually control, but it's only when we actually zoom out that we can actually recognize what is driving our nervous system, our stress, and our poor stress resilience. So we need to actually start to identify what is going on in our body, remove or reduce the stress we can control, and regulate our nervous system and build stress resilience so that we can better handle the stress in our lives that we can't control. This is key. And then, of course, we have to address our mindset as well, identifying limiting beliefs, identifying limiting decisions, and shifting those by using different techniques. So this is also tied in with your nervous system, but we also want to be rewiring those limiting beliefs so that we can think positively. We're looking for different things to celebrate. We believe that we can clear our skin. So mindset is going to be really, really key here. And then we move into movements. This is an area that is often overlooked. I see people fall into the category of not really doing any movement other than walking, which is great, or overdoing it too hard, and we're going in with those like HIIT workouts, we're running, we're doing the absolute most when it comes to our movement and adding more stress to the body. We've got that 5 a.m. morning routine. So really building a routine for you that works with your movement based on where you're at now, and just shifting that to help support and balance out your hormones. That is going to be key. So then, and only when you have gone through those foundations, we move into phase 3, which is rebalancing the body systems. If you skip phase 2, you will have to go back because, like I said, this has been created intentionally. The step-by-step is completely intentional. Okay, so now we're going to be rebalancing the body systems. And I say rebalancing instead of just balancing because your body is a self-healing tool. It is able to heal itself once it has the correct environment to do so. So we are just rebalancing your body so that we can then recreate that environment for the body to heal itself. And to do that, we start with energy. And when we start with energy, this means that your body is then replenished. Because if we start to move into drainage or detoxification from a depleted state, that is going to be using up so much physical energy, and it can actually make our symptoms worse. So we always want to be building the body up first. So energy is going to include your cellular health, your mineral balance, your metabolic health. We're also going to touch on, supporting your adrenals and supporting your thyroid so that we really have this like ultimate energy before we move into the next phases. And then we have drainage. So really supporting that flow of toxins through the body. So we're going to be supporting your digestion here. By this point, your digestion should be better and your energy should be increased, and your body your cells, you're so much more hydrated. But we just want to make sure that this is optimized. So we're optimizing your lymphatic system, just making sure that you're on top of allowing those toxins to get out of the body so that they then don't try to come out of the body through the skin. And the same with detoxification, because your body is trying to keep you alive at all points. So it's going to be moving away the toxins from your organs, such as your heart, your lungs, the organs that are keeping you alive. It's going to move toxins away from those as much as possible, store it in fat cells, and if it can't get them out of the body effectively, they will then come through the skin. So if you take where you're at right now before you've done everything before this and just dive into detoxification, your body may let go of some toxins, but they're going to be lingering around the body. And if they don't have a clear pathway out, they will just start to come through your skin. So this is why with some people, if they start to focus on detoxification before they have prepared the body properly, their skin is just going to get worse and they wonder, what am I doing wrong? Why isn't this working? I know I need to work on detoxification, but my skin is just getting worse and worse. The reason is you don't have a clear pathway for those toxins to get out of the body. You haven't reduced your inflammation. So now you're in this cycle of toxins causing inflammation preventing detoxification, a little bit sciencey. You don't necessarily need to know the ins and outs of the science here, but what you need to know is there are ins and outs of science. So you have to be strategic, and this is why I've laid it out step by step. So you don't necessarily need to know all the detail. I'm going to give you some of the detail, but the most important thing is that you have these protocols in the order that your body requires them, because your body has an order where it will heal. So for example, as we move into gut health, I always tell my clients that we need to support your nervous system before we work on the gut, because your nervous system is directly related with your gut health. And the same with the module where we work on energy and we balance your minerals. Your gut health is going to struggle to get to the place where it needs to be if your minerals aren't balanced first. So again, the order is really specific here. Gut health is going to be really important, not just to support digestion, but to support your microbiome. Through the gut-skin axis, your gut is so important to make sure that your skin health is strong, that your skin is glowy, that it's vibrant, that it's healthy, right? So gut health is key. And then finally, we have hormones. This is more relating to the reproductive hormones, like with what I said earlier, that your hormones are responding to their external environment. We never just want to start with reproductive hormones. We want to follow all of these different steps first, because that is going to allow your hormones to naturally move back into balance. So when we get to the end of this, it's really just about optimizing everything so that your routines, your lifestyle is in a place to keep your hormones in a really nice balanced space. And then finally, you've done all of that work, you've put in all of the effort, you've got your nutrition, your routine, your mindset, it's all in a great place. Now what? Now we are retaining your clear skin. We are maintaining, we're focusing on the maintenance aspect, because if you now go back to all of the habits that you had before 6 months previously when you first started, then, or the habits that maybe you have now before you started, then it's likely that your symptoms will come back over time, because when we take this approach, we still need to make sure that we're building the lifestyle, the nutrition, the environment, the habits, the mindset that is going to keep your skin clear. So this is why this section is so important for you. So I've included it specifically. And to be honest, you will never have to buy into the acne program again when you go through the Clear Skin Complete program. And now I have given you the framework. So you have two options. You can either continue to piece together the information in this training from Google, from social media posts that you've saved from experts, all on your own, which might get you some results, but I know you've already been doing it this far. Or you can hire me as your nutritionist to help you clear your acne, address the root causes of your breakouts, and I am now going to show you and introduce to you my program, Clear Skin Complete. And like I said, this is the last acne program you'll ever need to buy. And after months of market research, gathering client feedback, and mastering my method, my updated program is finally here. And like I said at the beginning, this is not just about clearing acne. This is about becoming the physical embodiment of the healthy lifestyle you're already working so hard on. To step out makeup free, feeling magnetic, and stop hiding behind your hand, your hair, or filters because of your skin. I know that you're ready for this unshakable confidence and to know your worth for better relationships, promotions at work, starting a business, vibrant energy, and just being the best version of you. You're ready to go to work without makeup on, without a second thought, to bin your foundation and unfollow all the dermatologists on Instagram. You want to fully embody and step into your higher self who inspires others, gets compliments from just showing up authentically as you, and you're surrounded by incredible people. And you feel aligned in your life, even on harder days, because I promise you that everyone deserves to have clear skin. And after working with multiple women with acne, I realized that there are 3 things that stop acne from clearing for good. And I know that it's the same for you too. And the first one is that you think that you've tried everything. So this limiting decision is blocking your progress. It's stopping you from actually getting the clear skin that I know that you deserve. And I can tell you now, you haven't tried everything. If you had, you'd cleared your skin. You can't pinpoint your root causes. This is going to be the bottleneck for so many different people. But one thing that I will tell you for sure is when I ask my clients what they think their root causes are, they are very much aligned with what I think their root causes are. You have an intuitive pull into what you think your root causes are, but it's not just being able to pinpoint the root cause that's going to clear your skin. It's knowing the drivers of that root cause and how to address it. Knowing it is only one part of the puzzle. Yes, it gives you clarity, and I will absolutely give you that. But addressing it is what's going to get you the transformation that you actually want. And finally, you think that the mindset stuff is fluffy. You think that it is just going to be a case of, your mindset's going to improve when you clear your skin. But actually, we need to make sure that we're working on our mindset throughout this process. And not only that, but I've actually spoken to multiple women on market research calls, and they've all told me that they want these specific things. They want personalized one-to-one support, not just a self-paced course. They want access to functional testing because they enjoy that deeper analysis and that deeper understanding. They want emotional support for flare-up panic so they're no longer struggling alone, because this journey isn't just a straight line to clear skin. It is going to be ebbs and flows. So having that support is really, really important. They want transparency and affordable pricing without unrealistic hidden costs. And they want that A to Z journey to reach clear skin for good, not just one piece of the puzzle, not just nutrition as one piece, right? We want that full A to Z journey. And this program has been built to fill all of those gaps. And there is nothing else like this on the market or at this price. So I'm going to show you now everything that is included inside the Clear Skin Complete. And this method has been proven time and time again with my clients, and it gets incredible results. What it's going to do is it's going to take you from acne to clear skin while building a deeper sense of self-love and unshakable confidence. You'll know exactly how to maintain your clear skin without stress, even if a random spot pops up. And that is the transformation that I want to get you to. Okay, so this program is perfect for you if you are ready to commit to clearing your skin and finally learn the root causes of your acne. If you're someone who's looking for a proven long-term solution and not just a quick fix, if you're wanting high-level support, community, and you don't want to do this alone, and you want an A to Z method, so you're no longer just trying to piece together little bits of information that you found yourself. At this point, I know what you're thinking, but what if this doesn't work for me, right? Maybe you've worked with somebody else, maybe you've tried all of these different things yourself, maybe you've had a blood test from the doctor and was told everything is normal. You're not really sure if it's working for you, and it's absolutely normal for you to feel like that. So I'm going to show you some of my clients now. So this is one of my clients, and we worked together for 6 months. And at the beginning, she didn't think that this was going to work for her either, because she was one of the healthiest people that she knew. Everyone came to her for health advice. She was cooking from home. She just couldn't necessarily understand what was happening. So what we had to do is we had to really dive into her root causes. And I took her through the 12-step method that I've just shown you in this masterclass. And what she said was the difference in her skin has been amazing. And it's even continuing to improve even now that we've completed our time working together, right? Because this isn't just about clearing your skin for 6 months and then going off and, not knowing how to maintain it. This is about maintaining your clear skin for good. And this is so powerful, and the results literally speak for themselves. And another one of my clients, when she first came to me, she'd been spending so much money every single month on monthly facials, but she knew that this was just a quick fix. This wasn't getting to the root cause, and she wanted to be able to actually have an option which didn't mean that she had to keep paying for these facials every single month, right? Facials are great, but they're a cherry on top. There's something that you can do to, take your skin to that next level. It shouldn't have to rely on them just to have the basic need met of feeling confident in your skin. And she told me that she was short for words, because after only 3 months, her skin was glowing. It had started to clear up the inflammation it got on in an insane amount. And now after 6 months, she started to reintroduce foods that she was cooking at home, more traditional meals. She's so grateful for the results that she has achieved. So I want you to imagine that it's Sunday morning and you've planned to head to Pilates and then go to brunch with your best friends. And you run your hand over your skin as you wake up slowly, and you feel smooth skin with no bumps. This is an incredible feeling. I remember this feeling. It's actually insane, and it takes you a while to get out of that habit of running the skin across the face. But honestly, this is how it feels. You start doing a happy dance as you head to the bathroom, and you look in the mirror and you think to yourself, shit, I look amazing. That's the day you stop using foundation and you feel incredible, being entirely makeup free. And that is what I want for you, and that is what I know you want for yourself, because this is magnetic confidence. It's unshakable self-worth, and you have done it. You've cracked the code and you have cleared your acne. And I know that you're ready for this next step. And the thing is, I know that it's a great investment to work with an acne nutritionist. And the reason that I'm different from other practitioners is I'm taking you step by step through the process of being able to clear your skin and maintain it for good. Plus, I'm giving you the option to get those personalized insights into your health, where I can explain your test results to you one-to-one together. But not only that, this isn't just a course that's self-paced. This includes that high-level one-to-one support. And I'm going to be very active on these calls, very active in this chat, so that you get the support that you need, so that you get that result. So as long as you put in the effort, that is how the transformation is going to happen. So what I want you to do now is I want you to scroll down to the bottom of this page, and I want you to click the link so that you can start this journey and this transformation to clear skin now, because this is going to be the day that you say yes to your clear skin goals. So in 6 months time, you're in a completely different position where you're running a hand over your skin and feeling the flat surface, the skin is glowing, and you feel absolutely radiant and confident. So scroll down below. I will speak to you soon. Thank you so much for watching.